Okay, so today I would like to talk a little bit about outlines and the importance of outlines. Behind me right now, currently, you see the novel that I'm working on, right? And it's a bunch of post-it notes and it's lines and it's also even some twine. It's crazy stuff, right? Most people, when they think of an outline, they think of kind of like a formal thing that they have to turn in for their teacher, where it's like Roman numerals and alphabets and it has to be all this crazy structured thing. But an outline really could look like anything. For here, these white note cards actually are just editing notes, right? They just tell me what I need to do in the draft. Each individual color is a separate character, like the big orange ones are my main character, right? And his name is John Kelly. The pink small ones are his wife, right? And the purple are his daughter. You can see by right here at this point, that's when the daughter comes in, because she's not like born over here, right? We gotta wait for her to be born. This line tells me that I need to start a new part of the novel. And you can see there's a lot of stuff that's left out. I haven't filled that in yet, right? So this is one way of doing an outline. I have the little pink squares aren't a character. They actually tell me I need to aim for a specific emotion or feeling in the text. The blue squares tell me at what page number I need to be. So page 4, 14, page 44. It tells me like exactly where I need to be. The little like red dots, that's kind of stolen from an outline or a structure called the hero's journey. And those are just like beat points. The little yellow things right here talk about repeating images. So I have the same kind of image repeating over and over in the novel. So this is just one form of an outline. It doesn't have to look like this. I could have done a list. And in fact, I have timelines, right? I know when Elizabeth is born. I know when she dies. I know she dies like way after the novel. But this guy, the main character, he does die. And he actually dies down here, which I don't even have that part outlined yet. So parts of it I have written, parts of it I haven't. It's kind of a roadmap. And it can look pretty much any way you want. Now you can shut off the camera.
It's unpaused.
Okay, so what I really kind of wanted to concentrate on today is the rhetorical analysis or the analytical essay, whatever kind of term you want to use for it. I tend to use those interchangeables, rhetorical analysis, analytical. They're the same kind of essay. And the first thing you want to really think about is your thesis statement. And there are 3 parts to a thesis statement. There's the stance, which is just your opinion. It's just, what do you think? It's the scope, which is the list of topics that you'll be talking about in your essay. And it's the stakes. Why is it important that you're talking about this thing that you're talking about? And what we use inside the essay are called signposts. And there are little tiny phrases that help with transitions for the reader so the reader knows the layout of the essay. So in this first one, in this essay, I'll argue. Specifically, I'll discuss. This is important because. And I want you to use all 3 of those signposts in your analytical essay. So in this essay, I'll argue. What are we going to argue? I don't know. You can pause it while I think about it.
Okay, it's unpaused.
Okay. All right. So, my son currently is reading a book called Wings of Fire. And so we're going to use that text as an example on how to go filling out our signposts or our thesis statement. So here you have the signpost. In this essay, I'll argue, and this is the stance. It's your opinion. And the opinion of the book is, in this essay, I'll argue the book Wings of Fire is about friendship and difficult choices. It's a pretty easy, simple thesis statement, or the beginning of the thesis statement. The second part of the thesis statement is the scope, and that's telling the readers what we're going to be talking about in the rest of the essay. So here's the signpost. Specifically, I'll discuss, that's the scope. The 5 dragons are all friends hanging out together and having each other's backs. They must also decide whether they should leave their cave. So we would expect, as we're moving through the body of the essay, that one, we're going to talk about friendship. We're going to talk about how friends have each other's backs, and we're going to talk about making hard decisions about whether they should leave the cave or not. This is important because these are the stakes. Why are we talking about this? This is just some lame but young adult middle grade novel. Like, what's the big deal? Why is it important? Well, it's very important because we're talking about some heavy themes. We're talking about how having friends keeps you from being alone, and they can help you make hard decisions. That's why it's important. So that is our thesis statement. So we're going to erase this board and we're going to go to something else. So pause the video again.
Okay, it's been on paused.
All right. So now that you have a thesis statement, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about where the thesis statement goes inside a close form genre essay. And that's what we're going to work on. A rhetorical analysis or an analytical essay follows what's called a close form genre format. I just call it hot tea structure, and the reason why I call it hot tea structure is because this actually, well, first of all, you don't ever want to drink tea cold because it's just disgusting. I know there are people that would disagree with that. But
What about iced tea?
they're wrong.
What do you mean you drink? What about the lemonade green tea iced tea? That was pretty tasty, and that is iced tea.
Hot tea. Hot tea. You can't have any other kind of tea. Hot tea. And what this looks like is pretty simple. There's a hook, orienting details, your thesis statement, which is 3 parts, which is your stance, which is what? Your opinion, the scope, which are the different topics you're going to talk about in your essay, and the stakes is why this is important. Sometimes these are referred to as the 3 S's. Right. And then here, T stands for topic, evidence, and analysis. Okay. I wrote down what our topics were basically on a piece of paper, and our first topic was the 5 dragons are friends. So basically we're going to want to see one topic about friends, and we're going to want to see one topic about having each other's back. And we're also going to want one about hard decisions. Okay? And that's for our topic. Our evidence is going to be from the text. So our first topic is about friends. So how do we know? I haven't read the book. Aaron, how do we know that the dragons are friends?
Okay, I unpause it again.
You're unpause it again. Why are the dragons friends?
I don't know. You're making me think.
Yeah, that's a problem. You read the book. I haven't. So, what proof do we have that they're friends? How do we know they're friends?
So, first book, which is the only book that I finished. Let's see. Well, first off, we got each other's back, but I think you already.
Well, that's
you already put that down there.
That's the second part. But how do we know they're friends?
Well, in the book, you see them interact like friends.
How do they interact with friends? How do you interact with friends?
They'll help each other out.
Like, give me an example of when they help each other out.
Oh, when one of the characters killed the queen to free them.
Oh, wow. Killed queen to free them.
Or maybe they're not, or maybe the queen's not dead. We don't know.
Okay. Well, this one actually might be the having each other's back. So this might be, we might be talking about topic 2.
Okay.
So, that's okay. We'll skip that one.
We'll skip that.
We'll come back to it later. What's the analysis? What does this show? What does this show? Like, if we go back to our thesis statement, the stakes are that having friends keeps people from being alone, and they help you make hard decisions. So somebody was captured in a jail alone.
Well, all of them were captured.
All of them were captured, and they were alone, but they worked together. And I know my handwriting is horrible, but they worked together to try to get out of the situation, right? So, but the evidence is actually from the book itself as an example of them working together. And this actually relates to having each other's back. Okay, you pause the video.
Okay, it's been on pause.
Okay. So the hook is the first thing you come into with the introduction. And basically, the hook is something that gets your reader interested in what you're writing about. So the other day, I was at a party, and I saw someone across the way, and what?
You were?
I was at a party, yes.
You were?
Yeah, just the other day. It was huge. The cops showed up, and we're like, COVID, break this up. But before that happened, there was this person across the way, and I mean, he looked really interesting, and I wanted to get to know him. And my daughter Abigail was with me, and I was like, Abigail, introduce me to that person. She like drags me across the room and meets the person, and she's like, yeah, this is my dad. And then she walks away, and I'm just like, this guy doesn't want anything to do with me now because he's bored out of his mind. Whereas, if my daughter was like, he's a Pulitzer Prize winner, I'm not, don't lie in your essay. He's a teacher, I know you teach, blah, blah, blah. And it's like kind of creating some rapport, right? So you want to introduce your topic. The next section of your introduction is the orienting detail. So, Aaron, tell me about the book. What is it, Wings of Fire?
Yeah.
You said it's a trilogy?
It's not a trilogy. There's going to be 15 books. Right now there's only 13.
Holy crap.
There's only 13 books out, though.
There's 13 written books and a 15 planned series. Okay, so they've got you hooked for the long haul. All right, what's about the first book? What happens in the first book?
So their choice was, the first half or first 2 halves, I forget which one it was, but they had to figure out how to escape. So the main character had to go through this river, but he had to hold his breath because he couldn't breathe underwater. And it was really dangerous. Some spots were really skinny, and he could barely get through because he is the biggest dragon of them.
Okay.
Because his other friend that could breathe underwater was stuck because the caretaker, I guess, one of the caretakers or of the dragons, just melted some iron and covered the other dragon in it.
Who's the author?
I don't know. Can I pause it to you?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
What year was it published?
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to that part.
Has the author published anything else?
I don't
You
know.
don't know what did he write what other stuff?
There's a sheet, I believe.
Okay, so whatever other stuff. So this is orienting detail. It tells the reader a little bit about. It's like going into a swimming pool, right? You don't want to be pushed into the deep end. You want to kind of go into the shallow end and try out the water first. And then you have down here your thesis statement. And again, that's stance, scope, and stakes. Right? So your opinion, all the subtopics, and why you're writing about this, why it's important. This is the order that your introduction should go in every single time. A lot of people will be like, well, where do I, let's mush it together in all one great big paragraph. But you really don't want to do that because it hurts the person that's reading the paper. Their eyes just see this great big wall of text and they forget what they're reading. You really want to aim for 2 to 3 paragraphs per page. And so you could actually break it up at any point there for paragraphs. And even this thesis statement, you could break up into 3 individual paragraphs if you wanted. Paragraphs are kind of natural breaking points in this outline that I'm showing you, this hot T structure. You pause the video again.
Okay, it's unpaused.
Cool. All right, so here we have the scope of our thesis. Specifically, I'll discuss how the 5 dragons are friends, how they have each other's backs, and lastly, I'll talk about how they make hard decisions together. So in the body of the essay, we're going to have 3 topics. We're going to have the first topic is friends. We're going to have the second topic is going to be their backs, and the third topic will be how they make hard decisions. Okay? And so then you have oops.
3 T's, 3 E's, and 3 A's.
Yeah. So
T.
depending on how you order your topics and your scope is dependent upon how you order your paragraphs in the body of your essay. So this is going to be friends. This is going to be backs. And this is going to be decisions, hard decisions. Okay? We can talk about how they grew up together in a cave, right? We can talk about rescued.
Give me a sec.